When malicious compliance backfires, I work in operations and maintenance on several small solar fields throughout the Midwest. Essentially, the companies that actually own the solar sites hire my company to do routine and corrective maintenance. We have about 15 crews working all over the US. We have an internal ticketing software we use to keep track of how much time we spend at each site and what work is being done. This is pretty important since we use all of our tickets to justify the site owners paying us. It can be a little frustrating to manage these tickets sometimes if there's a lot going on. For example, if I'm on site for Company A and get a phone call from Company B, I need to create a new ticket or log that time on an existing ticket for Company B's phone call. I can't just charge Company A for 30 minutes I spend answering a bunch of random questions for the other company. There are also times when you'll be walking through the field and notice something and just fix it real quick. Like we'll be replacing a broken module, solar panel, and happen to see a broken zip tie and you just replace it. It's not what you were doing in that section, but it takes all of 30 seconds so you just do it. However, a couple months ago, our company's VP retired, and the new guy is a little extreme. He wants to make sure we're really being diligent with our tickets and documenting everything. There was a company-wide Zoom meeting to introduce him, and he spent almost 20 minutes talking about tickets. We've all heard this before, and we're all pretty good about making sure our hours are accounted for with the appropriate tickets, so we didn't really think too much of it. A few weeks later, VP was out visiting one of my sites while we were doing preventative maintenance on 4 inverters. As I was setting up to do my work and the other tech was at the spare parts container on site getting some material, I noticed a module nearby had some damage. It was chipped from a rock or pebble. We're in a pretty windy area. I took a picture of it, noted the location, then went back to the inverter. As I was walking back, I called the other tech and asked him to grab a module while he was at the spare parts containers. When I finished at the inverter, I closed that ticket, created a new one for the broken mod, we replaced it, and I closed that ticket, and we moved on to the next inverter in line. At the end of the day, VP pulled me aside to ask why I wasn't managing my tickets correctly. Me, I'm not sure what you mean. Everything we did today had a ticket. VP, yes, but you didn't track your time correctly. Me, I'm sorry, I'm still not sure what you mean. We worked a little over 8 hours today. We spent roughly 2 hours at each inverter, and then 20 minutes swapping that broken module. It's all accounted for. VP, no it's not. You took about 5 minutes out of working on that inverter to look at that broken module and call the other tech. He then spent time loading a module into his truck to bring over. Where was that accounted for? So there's at least 5 minutes on the inverter ticket that was actually spent on the broken module. Plus however long it took other tech to load the new module. You should have logged out of the inverter ticket, created the module 1 and documented that time, then logged back into the inverter 1. Other tech should have logged out of the inverter 1, logged into the module 1 while he was loading up the module, then logged back into the inverter 1 when he started driving back to work on the inverter. I was a little taken aback by this. It's not like I had spent the time doing work for a different site, it was all for this one, and we don't get paid differently for each task we do. It's all the same hourly rate. I swallowed my objections and told him I would fix the tickets, cue the malicious compliance. Over the next few weeks, me and my other tech went from 3 to 5 tickets a day, to close to 20 a day. I was walking through the field on one task and picked up a piece of trash that blew in. Stop and create a new ticket. I answered other tech's question about the job he was doing while I was working on something else. Stop and log into that ticket. Broken zip tie? New ticket. Answer a text from my supervisor? New ticket. You get the idea. As you can tell from the title, this did not go how I was expecting. VP loved it. At the most recent monthly crew lead meeting, he absolutely gushed over how accurate our tickets were. How we set the new standard for how tickets need to be managed and everyone else needs to come up to our level. This was exactly what he wanted to see and wouldn't accept anything less. So yeah, sometimes malicious compliance will backfire and just make your life harder and make all your coworkers hate you.